Hey there, how you doing? Can you make a living as an ad composer? Yes, you can, and I'm going to break it down for you. Here's how it works. So, advertising agencies are called from advertisers like AT&T, Pepsi. They reach out to an advertising agency to make them a commercial. As the advertising agency is figuring out what they want to do, and they're pitching their ideas, they have to come up with music. And they have many places they can look for music. They can go to stock music libraries, which are very affordable, very easy to license a little piece of music for not very much money. They can go to bigger publishing companies that have loads and loads of pieces of music they can pick from. They can go to artists, bands, indie bands, their cousin, anywhere they want to go. But one of the main ways that people get music for advertising is to come to music houses. And music houses are little production companies throughout America that essentially have composers and freelance composers and all people basically trying to create music for your commercial. And that is really where you would go if you want a custom commercial, if you want it to be a specific scoring, technique, or it has to do a lot of specialized things that you can't get from a piece of music in a library, then you would have to call a music house and work with some composers that will custom design that piece of music for your commercial. Okay, so now the music house is going to use their in-house composers, and they are probably going to reach out to some freelance composers to create some music for this particular commercial they are pitching for. And I say pitching because it is not a guarantee. They have not won the job. It is not their job. It is just they are getting the opportunity to write some music for this commercial. And I am only one of many, many composers that are pitching for this same job. And when an advertiser is looking for music, they don't often just go to one music house. They will go to maybe 3 music houses. And each of those music houses has composers and has freelancers. And everybody is throwing down and trying to get their piece of music picked to go on air. Okay, so that is the first place you will make money. And I don't know any composers that will do this for free, so you are supposed to get paid and you are supposed to get a demo fee. And the going rate right now is about $300, $400 for a piece of music. If it's a much longer piece of music, maybe 2 minutes or something, it might be more, but most commercials are 30 seconds or 60 seconds. With that length of a piece of music, generally you will get paid $300, $400 for that. Okay, so that's great. So let's say you write that piece of music, you love it, nobody else does. You just get that $300 and then you are done with that job and you move on to the next one. But if they do like it, they might ask for some revisions. They might want you to, change the opening, change the ending, whatever they want to do. Generally for that $300, that includes, a couple of rounds of revisions. If you're lucky, it gets chosen, and this is the piece of music that is going to go to air. And so it's your job to create a final mix and provide them with stems, which is, the music broken up into its individual instruments or groupings of instruments. You send your mix, you send your stems, it goes to the mixer, and it ends up on TV. And whew, you are so happy, you jump up and down, you're thrilled. Because now you know you're going to make maybe $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever the client is going to pay. That's typically written in that first brief when they say, hey, this is the job that we are working on, this is what we need stylistically, and we have $300 for a demo, and if it wins, you'll make $5,000, let's say, on average. So now you got it, it's on TV, you have to wait maybe 30, 60, 90 days to get paid, but you will finally get that final fee, and that's a very happy day. And often if you win the final, you don't get the demo fee, that's like sort of, folded into the final. But if you did lose and, your piece was not chosen, $300 or $400, whatever. All right, if your piece of music was the final and it is now running on television, it is going to earn royalties. And that is basically money that will be paid out later on. They're paid every quarter. So 4 times a year, I will get additional money for the commercials that I won that are running on television. And they are collected by performing rights organizations. You probably have heard of BMI or ASCAP. These are the organizations that will collect the monies paid to them that is distributed out to the composers and publishers of these pieces of music. And I'm generally not getting the publishing side of the music. In other words, I give up the rights of ownership of this piece of music, but I always get paid as a writer. Like I still wrote the piece of music, so I will get my writer's share. There's a little more details involved with that about how that split happens. Sometimes I have to share the writers with the music house. Sometimes they give me all of the writers. And sometimes it's a license fee, so I maybe be able to keep everything. I get to own the piece of music. I get to get the writer's royalties. That's obviously the most money that you can make on the commercial, but that doesn't often happen. Most people want some sort of piece of the pie, and you'll have to share that. But that can be a very lucrative, payout every quarter, depending on how many commercials you have running on TV and how long they run. They might run for many, many months. They might run on all the national television channels, and you see them all the time. Those are paying out very well. I just did a commercial recently for an insurance company. I won't say who. And the total payment was about $13,000 just for that one commercial. Now that is rare. Generally speaking, I might make $10,000 to $15,000 a quarter for all the commercials I have on TV. I try to get lots and lots of opportunities to win. If you can get those wins, the payout can be pretty nice. So it is a great living, and I highly recommend you giving it a try if you are an aspiring composer. It's a fun job also because I get to write different styles of music all the time. Every day it's something new. And that can keep things exciting, and not to mention the competition can keep things really exciting too. It can be very hard on your nerves though, and you got to build a very thick skin in this business because you are going to lose a lot more than you're going to win. Anyway, if you guys have any more detailed questions about this, because I'm just giving you an overview, please hit me up in the comments section with any questions. I will get back to you. And if you like this kind of content and you want to hear more about life as an ad composer, please like and subscribe and look for my upcoming videos. Thanks a lot for joining me today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.